a roster move was made to bring up Hayden Wesneski. Hayden obviously pitched out of the rotation to start the year, went down to Iowa, and now he's back. And by all things said by David Ross and the front office, he's going to contribute out of the bullpen for the foreseeable future because they're just looking for help. They're looking for guys to fill some innings, to get the best arms out there. You think this is a good move? They did say, and they prefaced with all of that with saying the plan is to have him be a starter in the future.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Is this something you're a fan of? Because every time they've brought up a guy like this, with the exception to Justin Steele, they've kind of ended up back in the bullpen. And I mean, Elzalay, Keegan Thompson, Leiter pitched as a starter for a little bit and then was brought down. I know that it's a small sample size, but I just want your opinion on Hayden. I know his stuff's going to play really well out of the bullpen, but is this a situation where they're sacrificing development for maybe a few wins here or there? And if that's the case, what does it matter if you're not contending?
Sure. Yeah, you bring up some great points there. I think it's okay for right now. I think the key is duration. How long are you going to be doing this? And they did preface it with he will be a starter. But the longer you keep him in the bullpen, if he starts to, fail in there, you're talking about killing the kid's confidence. And that is a developmental stunt. And we've seen it in the past. They have done that in the past. And it's not worth a couple extra wins, in my opinion. However, he needs a soft landing. He had some pretty rough outings here in the majors, and he needs a soft landing. So if he does come out of the bullpen, and I do think his stuff will play, he could be a key guy. He could be someone that we do need moving forward. And if we start to put some wins together, we are in a terrible division, so it doesn't matter. We start to put some wins together and he ends up being someone that can be a high leverage guy. That's a really big asset to a team. It's hard to get high leverage guys in the circle of trust. So could he be that guy? He could. So it's a really tough thing because how long are you going to let him do this? Even if he ends up being a great bullpen arm, when do you say, well, now we need to make this transition, and how are we going to even make the transition?
And two, I don't want another situation where you end up with a Keegan Thompson where he needs extra days off. We all saw the splits that when he had 3 or 4 days off opposed to pitching back-to-backs. The key is he's never done this before out of the pen. Can he pitch back-to-back days? You're already carrying so many 3-inning guys on this roster right now that you're worried about pitching back-to-back. And if you're going to put another one out there, it worries me just a bit that we'll be in the same spot we're talking about Keegan, where it's like he runs out of gas or he can't do the back-to-back day. And yeah, having that guy who can pitch 3 innings in a game is very, very valuable. But in the case of, the next day, he's a roster spot that you can't use. There are guys who are in the league who can pitch 2 innings and then come back and get you an out or get you a couple outs the next day. I worry that with his training as a major leaguer so far of pitch, off days, recovery, side sessions, it's totally different when you become a bullpen pitcher. That throws off maybe development, that throws off maybe the confidence in the arm. Maybe he thinks he can throw extra days, but he can't. This is a really risky, odd move for them. And if I'm all for them using Hayden to piggyback Hendricks on Hendricks days where you feel like he can only go 5 as this is going in, but I think the problem becomes you just don't know what you're getting out of this guy because he's never done it. And he's taking a roster spot at that point.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're right with it is a risky move. And a risk and a gamble, sometimes it does pay off. But you bring up a good point. Those 3 inning guys, how many are you going to have? And will he become that, or will he be, like you said, able to bounce back a little quicker? Who knows? For me personally, if I had my choice, I would just keep him down, let him keep pitching on regular, rest, and just keep seeing innings and work and developing. But if they see something that they think, okay, this is going to play well, or we really need this, who am I to argue? But at the same time, I agree. I think it's risky. And personally, I don't take big risks, so I wouldn't be taking that risk.
Yeah, I agree with you. You got to look at the bullpen tonight and give them a tip of the cap, and hopefully this whole Hayden Wesneski thing does work out for them. Because if that's the case, then you've added another high leverage arm to the bullpen, and he has that competitive fire.